Hey, what's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Lydia, and if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, join the growing family, turn notifications on, and while you're down there, give me a thumbs up because it really does help me out. Today we're going to be talking about how I've overcome my triggers. So as a lot of you, let me turn my heater off for a minute, it's loud. So as a lot of you know, I used to really struggle with my PTSD. I'm not saying I don't struggle with it still, I still have flashbacks. But I've managed to work on myself to a point where I don't really have triggers as such. And the short story of how I did that was I just kept facing it. I did self-exposure therapy. Exposure therapy is where you face triggers head on. So one of my biggest triggers was police sirens, which, because I live in London, it's not where I am right now, but because I live in London, you hear sirens all the time. And yes, they bring back bad memories of where I've been dragged out my flat, where I've been forced into hospital, where I've been put in leg restraints, where I've been assaulted. You know, there's just a lot of incidents happened that caused that to become a trigger. And basically what I did is I stood on the front of my building I live in and listened to the sirens. And the first few times it was horrific, but it gradually started to really work for me. And now when I hear a siren, I don't get triggered. So that's one thing. Another thing that I did was not go back inpatient. I've had urges the last year to end my life, and before last year I probably would have made an attempt on my life when I had these thoughts, because I find suicidal thoughts very hard to deal with. But instead of acting on them, what I've done is I've used my distraction box, which I don't have here, but when I'm at mine, what I've done is I've really worked on what my triggers are. So I think the first important step you could take to work on yourself is learn your triggers. You need to identify what it is that triggers you to act in the way you're acting, or to have flashbacks the way you're having flashbacks. You know, triggers come with trauma, anxiety, suicide, self-harm, eating disorders. All of them have triggers. And it's about working on the triggers, because you're never going to recover if you don't face the trigger. I genuinely believe that I wouldn't be here if I hadn't worked on my triggers, because my triggers were getting really bad and I was having constant flashbacks, which was causing me to not be able to go out. I don't go out, but that's because I'm agoraphobic / anxious. But yeah, overcoming triggers isn't easy. I'm not claiming it's easy. And self-exposure therapy will not work for everybody. The reason I did it myself is because I didn't want to wait on the waiting list for exposure therapy. I figured I could do it on my own. And I did a lot of research into what it was and how it works and what you do. And what you do when you're self-exposing yourself to things is you do it gradually. So let's use the siren one. First, I opened my windows so I could hear them, and it was loud. Next, I went outside and watched them. Then I went walking down a street between two hospitals. And then I just lay in bed listening to it all, and I didn't get triggered. So yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.